welcome back to Let's Talk Whisky. This week I've got the Fettercairn 12-year-old. It's a Highland distillery. This is just about to be opened. I actually took off the cellophane just before I started because it actually took me for ages. So I'm going to get this open, get it in the glass, and we'll go through how I got it, a bit of price, a wee bit of history about the distillery itself. So let's see what type of pop we get on this one. Nice. I've got a Fettercairn glass as well, so a nice healthy glug in there. So Fettercairn 12, this is part of the cone range. It's 40% ABV, and it's got added colour to it, just to try and keep it all the same throughout its time. So when it's getting bottled and passed around in the world, it's just always going to be the same. This, I tried it at the distillery. I was there a couple of weeks ago, and I popped in and I was able to try it. I was trying to get a tour, but they're actually in the process of changing out, I think, their stills and or their washback. Something was getting changed. We went out in the production area, so we sat and spoke to some of the staff, and it was pretty cool to hear some of the stories and some of the history from it. So owned by White Mackay. This glass that this is in is a Fettercairn. It's got 200 on it, as Fettercairn was founded 200 years ago. So they're in a kind of this part of celebrating their 200th anniversary. And the 12-year-old, I actually won the 12. I didn't pick this up at the distillery. I won this. So founded in 1824. Again, I bought some raffle tickets, and this showed up at the door. So I'm quite happy that I got it, and I was able to go to the distillery and have a look. The distillery itself's in Lornskirk. So if you are kind of heading towards Aberdeen, you would go past Perth through Dundee and up that way. I think maybe from Glasgow you're about 2 hours, just over 2 hours to get there. Nice distillery. It's quite small. Again, I didn't get to go and do the tour, unfortunately, but you can see a lot of the money that White Mackay have put into the distillery itself. And same with like the bottles and everything. The kind of rebrand from years. I really like the bottle. It's got the kind of copper stamp put in as well, and the Fettercairn in itself. The fun thing about this, when I was there, they use white American oak. They don't just say we use ex-American oak. It's white American oak. They're quite specific in what they say. Just to add its full life and refill white American oak. So white American oak is more or less a Quercus alba style wood that they use, and it's had bourbon in it before, and I think it's had Scotch whisky in it, and then they've used that to age the whisky. So it's a full bourbon maturation, but on white American oak. It's pretty cool. They've got this thing that they're trying to start now with the local farmers. I think the 200 as well. Sorry, even though it's 200 years, they've got 200 farms are going to bring all the barley in from a local within a 50-mile radius. So no barley will come from further than 50 miles away. And then the trees right behind the distillery as well, they've started a growing project there, because they want to use Scottish oak in some of their whisky. And I was able to try, I think it was an 18-year-old that was finished in Scottish oak. It's a little bit quirky and slightly different. I couldn't compare it to anything. So I'm glad I've got this. It's on paper, it's 40% and it's got colour. Doesn't mean it's going to be bad whisky. No, will it be light? It might be, or it could still have a bit of longevity to it. There's only one way to find out, right? So I think we'll have a look. We'll get a wee swirl, as always. It's the legs, there's not much there. Again, that's a 40% that's doing that. The colour of it as well, it's kind of more on the gold side than amber to me. It's light. Let's get it on the nose, see what we're going on, get a bit in the palate, and then we'll take it from there. So first impressions and the first pour of this Fettercairn 12. There's a white chocolate is the first thing that's jumped out. Like a white chocolate, like peach apricot toppings, if that makes sense. Like a dessert style, but with peach, maybe apricot on top. There's a tiny bit of light wood as well, like a light oak to it. but it is super light. I think that's at 40%. And again, having a look at this white American oak full maturation at 40% is keeping it nice and light. It's got a nice nose. White chocolate, peach apricot, kind of um, fancy dessert that we'd have peach and apricot on top and the slices. Something, if you can imagine that. I don't know what the dessert is called. But something that's the kind of three majors that's coming through here. I'm not getting, like, I thought I would get big vanilla notes and your kind of coconuts, your usual things, but I'm not getting that. It's nice. Right, let's get it on the palate and let's go for the taste test now and see what happens here. So, Slange, everyone. Slight, kind of quick finish. There was it's like a kind of toasted caramel, but there's a soft wee, um, it's not spice, but maybe soft cinnamon there came through, but more of a kind of caramel note on the palate. But again, it's light, it's easy to sip. Today is like 23 degrees in Scotland, so it's like as hot as the sun, people would probably say here. This is a kind of whiskey to have on a day like this. Peach, apricot, white chocolate, I can't get away from that in the nose. And that kind of little bit of wood in there as well. Again, nice nose. Nice in the palate. It's not super exciting. It's not absolutely going, oh, wow, this is fantastic for my style of palate. I'm not a big cocktail guy, but I think maybe this would be something. If I was, I would maybe use this to kind of um, add into a cocktail more than anything. The thing I think as well, Fettercairn, I was annoying because I would like to see this done. I think the water that they use as well, they put it over the stills on the outside as well to keep it cool to give a kind of copper contact. Slightly something different there. If I remember when she was talking, yeah. So as we drench our stills with cooling the copper, so that only the finest vapors rise. Yeah, this is just light whiskey, easy sipping whiskey. You're picking this up between 50 and £55. Would I go back for this? Maybe at the right price, but I think my palate again, and I might just be, it's my palate, and I enjoy something a little bit more viscous, and you can pick the Deanston 12 up, for instance, or the kind of Deanston Virgin Oak and stuff, and a kind of price point slightly less than that. It's good. I tried their 18-year-old or the 19-year-old travel retail, and that was superb. I really liked that. The 12-year-old is the only whiskey that they've got which is coloured and 40%. Everything else is above that and natural. Sorry, excuse me, I think, which is really good. But again, the price point was quite high. I found that they were doing, but it's White and Mackay. So the older stuff for me was generally, I really enjoyed it when I was there. A lot of that kind of white American oak was used again. This is just okay to me. I'm not going to sit and rave about it personally and say it's one of the best whiskies I've had. It's good. It's okay. I'll keep it, but I don't think it's one that I would replace in my collection once it's finished. But let me know if you've tried this before, if you've got the same thoughts, and would you buy this whiskey if you had £50 in your pocket? Would you go for this 12-year-old or would you go for something else? Cool Distillery, I'm looking to go back once it's back up and running again and actually do a tour. I think that would be pretty sweet to see the place. But I'll go and sit back. I'll go and finish this. I'll maybe not pour another one. I'll maybe try something different just now. And I'll go and enjoy the rest of this sunshine we've got here in Scotland for probably one day only. But we'll wait and see how the rest of the night goes. But again, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for leaving comments. And it's amazing that you all do that and you tune into me talking about whiskey. And sometimes I love them, and sometimes I think they're okay. This is an okay one today. But as always, join me next week. Let's talk whiskey. Flange.